Almost everyone has heard about foreclosures or seen late-night infomercials about how to buy foreclosed properties for pennies on the dollar, or knows someone who bought a property they fixed up quickly for a handsome profit. In this movie, we'll separate hype from reality and show you the secrets you need to know to find and purchase discount real estate. We'll look at several strategies, including tips and tricks for finding bargains on the MLS, and look at the simple facts of foreclosure and other strategies such as probates, auctions, and fixer homes. All of these properties present an opportunity to buy a home for yourself at a substantial discount, or to make money flipping these homes to other end users. That said, it's not nearly as simple as some people make it sound, though it's definitely possible. Finding bargain property can take a substantial amount of time, and most of the time the deepest discounts are the properties with the biggest problems. Every home has merits and liabilities, and the profit potential from a home is just one of many. The deeper the discount, the fewer properties there are to choose from, and those are generally toward the less desirable end of the spectrum. As you see from this graph, as one is willing to pay closer to retail price, there is more inventory to choose from, while the deepest discounts are available on the fewest homes. When purchasing a property as your home, it is up to you to decide how important certain features are compared to the potential financial return. If the property is purely for investment, then generally speaking, the transaction is all about profit potential, and whether the property is in a great school district or on a quiet street isn't as important. If you're looking for a home in which to live, we can help you prioritize between your essential needs and the financial potential to best suit your situation. First, let's look at the truth about foreclosures, then we'll look at some other discount property strategies, including using the MLS and online searches. When people say they want a foreclosure, it could actually be any of three scenarios, which are the three stages of the foreclosure legal process. They are pre-foreclosure, foreclosure auction sale, and the real estate that did not sell at auction and has been returned to the bank, which is called an REO, or real estate owned. Pre-foreclosure means the current owner has stopped making payments, and the bank has started the process of reclaiming ownership of the property. These properties are often listed with a realtor, or the pocket listing of a realtor, or the homeowner is negotiating a workout program with the bank or arranging redemption by borrowing money from friends or family. During the pre-foreclosure process, the seller has legal ownership of the property. They may owe more on the mortgage than what the house is worth, in which case a skilled realtor like us can arrange for you to purchase this property at a discount via a process called a short sale or short pay. During this process, for your purposes, you can ignore what is owed on the home, but realize these require substantial political and negotiation skill by us as the realtor, because the seller will not get a single penny from the sale of their home, and your offer must be approved by the seller's mortgage company. This process can get delayed, but not stopped by bankruptcy, and the property is generally sold as is, though you still have normal contingencies to protect you, such as the appraisal, loan, and physical inspection. Almost all of these homes are either reinstated, which means the current owner gets back on their feet, or it's sold to friends or family, or sold through a realtor to a buyer such as yourself. Foreclosure sale is generally at public auction and requires either 10% down or 100% payment the day of the auction, depending on the legal process in most states. These homes are sold entirely as is, and most typically cannot be bank financed due to title restrictions. While you can get a bargain, there is a fair amount of research required and some degree of risk in purchasing a home as is with no inspection. If you have sufficient cash to purchase a home with no financing, this can be the best time to purchase with a substantial discount. Post-foreclosure, called real estate owned, or REOs for short, means properties that did not sell at auction and are now property of the bank. These usually get listed with a realtor and show up on the MLS. Other than paperwork, buying an REO is generally similar to buying a regular home. Next, I'd like to mention probates, which are when a property owner passes away and the home becomes under the control of the state for purpose of dispersing to heirs. While you can try contacting various probate attorneys, most of the time they have a legal responsibility to demonstrate that the property was well marketed and thus usually list with a realtor. We can set up alerts for you to find probate property. Paperwork and contracts for probates may or may not require court confirmation and may or may not be subject to overbid, which means the successful bidder's purchase price must be published and is subject to outbidding. A similar process is used for most other government entity auctions, such as law enforcement repossessions, drug seizures, tax auctions, and bankruptcy auctions. Most properties in desirable areas are either listed with a realtor or published in newspapers. These days, most are available on the Internet to ensure the selling entity obtains the maximum value. A free report with websites you can check for properties is available at the end of this movie. Next, if you want to find a home that you'll actually want to live in and have more priorities than strictly profit potential, let's look at some tricks we used to search the MLS for bargains while still maintaining a reasonable range of options. First, if you look at a lot of properties on the MLS, you will notice patterns. If you don't have time to look at hundreds of properties, then as the adage states, if you don't know jewels, know the jeweler. We can help you by setting up MLS alerts so that as new property comes on the market in a certain area at a certain price, you will be notified. We can also help you locate bargains on a cost per square foot basis, or find homes with an extra lot on which you can build another home and resell, or find a home on a busy street you may be able to get rezoned and turn into more profitable commercial space. Anytime you can exercise your creativity to see a higher and better and more profitable use for a given property, you have an opportunity to create a profit. Another strategy is really knowing a particular area. One example we saw was a listing entered by an inexperienced agent who showed the front of the house but not the amazing view. Because of the picture, other buyers may have thought the property was not priced as a bargain, but when the fantastic view was figured into the value, the property was substantially underpriced. The buyer of this home made over $500,000 on this property because he knew the exact street the property was on and took the time to investigate. When the property came on the market, he scooped it up in just a few days with minimal negotiation and closed quickly before the listing agent's error was realized. Because this home was on a hillside with a view, electronic.com valuation websites could not accurately place the value. So while the seller lost out, this buyer found a handsome profit. Our second strategy is to look for agents that are working out of their area, because these properties are more likely to be overpriced and have little interest and therefore receptive to lowball offers, or be underpriced but poorly marketed. This often happens when a seller wants to use their friend or cousin or someone else they know, but that person isn't necessarily well qualified to sell a home in that area. Common ways to find this are by checking neighboring MLS databases or by looking for agents with out-of-area phone numbers. Third, you can write low offers on for-sale by-owner properties. The simple fact is that most FSBOs or FSBOs have far less advertising, market visibility, or traffic than homes listed with a realtor. Oftentimes, out of desperation, the seller will crumble to the logic and persuasion of an investor buyer rather than realize it may have simply been a case of poor marketing and not enough visibility. Fourth, don't overlook properties with no pictures or ugly pictures. Sometimes a bad picture is worse than no picture, and generally speaking, people are visual. This simply causes fewer competing buyers to take interest. Last, in most MLS databases, we can see how many days a property has been on the market. A seller that has been trying to sell for a long time probably priced their home too high to begin with, but may still need to sell. For any home that has been on the market much longer than usual, you have an opportunity to write the offer at the price you want to pay. You can write the offer you'd like, and the worst that can happen is they'll say no. They may counteroffer to a price you can live with, or you can simply walk away. You may, in the end, get the home for the price you want. There are a few tricks we use to get lowball offers accepted, such as very specialized cover letters, justification based on comparable properties, and historical sales using either a cost per square foot for small homes and other tricks to persuade a hesitant seller. Obviously, when we push the limits, most offers are not accepted, but our persistence and careful attention to detail can land you the house you want for the price you want to pay. Experienced professional realtors like us can also determine an accurate after-repaired value or future value for construction projects. We have relationships with various professional contractors to obtain cost estimates on repairs, improvements, or construction so that you can budget accordingly. For those interested in pursuing fixers or properties to flip, remember that the deepest discounts usually come with the biggest problems, although there are many people who don't have the imagination or skill to see a home as it could be, so there's certainly room for profit on properties requiring mainly cosmetic work. Some of these properties may be wonderful homes, or look wonderful but have serious invisible problems such as hazardous material contamination. Others will look unlivable. When pursuing these homes, please be upfront with us about what types of problems you're willing to deal with, such as major structural rehabilitation, fire damage, mold damage, chemical contamination, foundation or roof problems, or if you're strictly looking for light cosmetic fixers. Real estate is competitive, and the smaller the problems, the closer to retail price these properties will sell for. Remember, on the flip side of every deal is a seller who is working hard to get the highest price possible. People very rarely give up equity easily, and even in the case of court sales, the court or attorneys have a fiduciary responsibility to get the highest price they can for their clients. People do get bargains, but it's usually because they're solving a problem for the seller. The best way to find a foreclosure, fixer, or other bargain property is to work with a professional like us, to navigate these issues, to help low offers get accepted, and ensure any problems with a property that come up are what you expected. When you hire us to identify and handle the transaction of a bargain property for you, we are paid only when you successfully make it all the way to closing on a property that meets your specific priorities. We've put this movie online to demonstrate our expertise and look forward to applying our training and skills to working with you on locating, negotiating, and closing on a home based on your exact priorities. If your dream is to live under a freeway next to a landfill, you really can buy your home for pennies on the dollar. If you'll tell us what your specific priorities are in a home and how important the potential for profit is compared to your specific needs, we can help you find it. Fill out the next form and we'll get in touch, or contact our team today to see what we can do for you.